Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video, another book video if you will. If you haven't picked up already, I do book videos basically every second week. I haven't done a wrap up in a little while. I did one I think in February and I kind of haven't spoken about, well, really a lot of books I haven't spoken about, but I haven't been doing like a consecutive like May I read this, June I read this, July I read this kind of thing, you know, even though it's still June. But I thought I would talk about some books I've read recently. I've been on a reading streak, and I've read quite a bit, and normally it's kind of like one book a week, but this month I've read seven books, which is just crazy to me because I don't know why it was such a good reading month or how it was any different to any other month. I have no idea how it got there, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But I've got only a few physical copy books. The rest I've read either on my phone, in the Apple library, or on my Kindle. I've been reading like 3 books at a time, so I don't know if that's the thing that's changed and has made me be able to read 7 books this month, which is a lot for me. I know some of you readers out there, you do like 14 books a month, which I personally don't have time for that. But I'm glad you guys do. I wish I had the time, but I don't. So yeah, I've been reading 3 books, and weirdly enough, it'd be like a physical copy, one on my phone and one on my Kindle. So the reason I have one on my phone or on my Kindle is because when I go to the gym, I like to read in between each set. So I've been smashing out a lot of reading by that. Enough said, let's chat about a few books. And it's not like all the books since I've read in February. It's just some recent reads that I thought I would bring up just cause, and I haven't really spoken about them. First up is Wild Love by Elsie Silvers. This is a new series that she's doing at the moment, which is like this billionaire cowboy small town romance series. I was unfortunately not a fan. I'm not actually a fan of anything of Elsie Silvers. I wish I was, but I'm just not. It kind of just doesn't go anywhere for me. This was probably like a 1 star just because I did enjoy the characters, but everything else in this book I just really didn't enjoy. I wish they kind of delve into the whole music industry a little bit more than they did, but that's fine. It was just not a great read for me, so I don't really want to keep talking. I actually started doing polls on my Instagram, which I didn't think it would work this well, but everyone's been loving it and everyone's been voting. So basically I go on my Instagram, I take photos of each book, and then I color them out and then put like emojis of like what it represents, what the book represents, and I have you guys vote on which book I should read for the week. And that has actually done so well. So you guys have been picking my books, which is a lot of fun. And the first one was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Now, this one I picked up ages ago. I started reading. I kind of got a little bit bored. I think I just couldn't really wrap my head around what it was about, really. And so I got a little bit bored about that. But the second time reading it through, I've really enjoyed it. This is what you would call a cozy fantasy, so it's not like a high stakes fantasy. Nothing intense really happened, but it's cozy and it's cute, and I like the little town that they're in. I love like picturing the fairies. I love Emily, which is our main character. I love Wendell. I love all of these people. Look at this cover. Are you joking? She also has a second book out as well. I'm not sure if I'll pick that up. I might, maybe, just to see what else happens. But I actually really enjoyed this. Also, the quotes in this are really cute and beautiful quotes as well. So I would love to go back and like highlight those. But this one, if you're looking for something cozy where it's like raining outside and you're huddled on the couch with your blanket and a cup of tea, this is the one. You're just wanting something a little bit chill, has a little bit of romance, has a little bit of fantasy in it. This is your girl. So anyway, I love her. What I have is on my Kindle, so I don't have a physical copy of it with me, but it was just for the summer. This is a fairly recent release, and I thought I would just jump on in and have a read of it. can't remember what I rated it, probably like 3 stars. It wasn't bad. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the storyline. Basically it's about this guy and this girl who have a curse, and every time someone dates them and they break up with them, they then find their true love and they get married or whatever. So it's like this curse where like they are always the last ones before someone meets the love of their life. So they decided to get together and break the curse. So it's a fake dating trope. So they fake date in order to break this curse, because if they break up with each other, then they think that of course like that's gonna reverse the curse and we'll find our true loves. But of course once they're fake dating, you know. Next one I have is Light Luck, which is a fantasy. I picked it up because I didn't realize that the new book Nightbane, sorry, don't have my glasses on, Nightbane would be out fairly soon. And honestly the cover just really got me. I loved the first half of this book. The first half of this book was actually insane. Like the idea of this game that they're playing. So let me read the back just to make sense of it a little bit. So every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves and their realms, one ruler must die. And then it says lie, cheat, and betray. So it's a good book. It was a great first half of this book. I loved it. I was really into it. But the second half of it was like, I just wanted it to end. Basically, it was really good first half, but some stuff in it, I was like, does it really need to be in there? And then I just wanted to hurry up and get to the end to find out what happened. Anyway, which in some cases, yes, it's a great thing. But in this case, I don't know if it was a good thing. Part of me just wanted to end because I was like, come on, like, let's pick up where we started, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, great book though. I love the cover. The cover really represents something about this book. I think I will read the second one. I am interested to see what happens with our characters and the storyline as well. But this was a great read. If you were looking for a new fantasy book, I would highly suggest this one. So the next book we have up is Sweet Bitter, which is a series on Disney Plus. I've watched it twice because that's how much I enjoyed it. I did watch that first before reading the book, but I've always wanted to read the book. Basically, Tess, our 22-year-old, travels into New York. She needs to find a job. She ends up getting a job at this really high-class restaurant where there's servers and backwaiters, and you have to know all of the wines and everything about the food and the specials, and like everyone that goes there is really fancy and everything's super expensive. Anyway, so because I come from a hospitality background, I love it, and I kind of wish I was one of those servers because it sounds so fun. Anyway, and then she meets a lot of different people, obviously, that she works with. She gets to know, it's a bit indie. It's not like a normal general read. I don't know how to explain it to you. Put it under general fiction, but it is a bit different and it reads very differently to what I guess most people would be used to. So if you want to read that, keep that in mind. But basically it's about her life and this restaurant and who she meets, and how she kind of grows up and learns a lot about life and about her job and about people as well. Anyway, I literally just finished that last night. I would probably give it a 2-star. It wasn't amazing. I'm glad I read the book because I was so involved in the show, and the show only had 2 seasons, so I didn't know what ended up happening to Tess and her life, and I really needed to like have closure on that because I was like, what happened? What happened to Tess and Jake, and what happened to Simone, and what happened to all of these characters in the restaurant? If you ever watched the show and are wanting to know what happened or are wanting to just get more from it, read the book. It's really good. Okay, another one to just excite me about traveling, I guess, is Girl Abroad. Girl Abroad is about our girl who, I think she's in year 11 and she wants to do her senior year abroad. So she travels to London and she thinks that she's rooming with three other girls, but they all end up being guys, and she doesn't know that until she arrives. So she arrives and she's like, oh, there's 3 guys that I'm living with. So far, it is a fun book. I am almost finished this book, so I haven't finally finished it, but she goes to this market and picks up a portrait. She's like an art student. She's very good at art. She picks up this portrait, which she thinks is really interesting, and then the portrait ends up having a full backstory. So it goes into her life in London, but also goes into the backstory about this portrait. Something happens to the portrait and a note falls out, you know, things like that. So I think that gives it a little bit more of a plot and a bit more to the story than to just being this girl that travels to London. The other books that I've recently read, so as I said, I've read 7. Oh, I didn't even tell you, I'm starting Throne of Glass. I know, stop it. I'm very late to the bandwagon, but my husband has the full series and I thought that I would just start reading and see how I feel about it. I didn't finish the ACOTAR series. I read like 3 or 4 books, I think, but I didn't end up finishing the whole thing. Yeah, so we'll see how we go with this. I am 5 chapters through, so I'm just gonna see how I go, but so far I'm enjoying it. Some books that I am really looking forward to though, that are coming out next week, we've got Tangled Up in You, which is a Christina Lauren book, which I'm actually kind of excited to read. I do like some of Christina Lauren's books, but this one in particular, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I love Tangled and the story of Tangled and Rapunzel, but I'm really excited about this. I think it would be really fun. Like, we have like this good girl that's never really been out, and then she's gonna go out, I think it's to college, and meet this guy who has a criminal record and a bit of a bad boy persona about him. So I'm really excited to read that. Then in July we have Reckless, which is the second to Powerless. So I'm super excited for that book as well. And we also have Dishonestly Yours, I do believe. So those are 3 books that I'm really keen to read. So I think one comes out next week and then the other 2 come out in early July, or actually on the same day. Thank you for sitting and listening. I hope you might have some new ideas for some new books to read. I'm always here for recommendations. If anyone needs them, just comment and I will happily give you some. But yeah, this month was a great month for reading 7 books. She aced it. Looking forward to July.